Welcome to Our Community, Our Money, the entrepreneur in you. My name is Germaine Washington, and I'm your host. For today's show, we will be speaking with Libia Gregg, entrepreneur and founder of GV&A Productions, a full-service event design and communications company. GVA initially focused on creating artistic events, but after the global pandemic hit, they pivoted and began to focus on developing presentations, printing, and promotional products. Libia, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Germaine. Pleasure to be here with you.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is your background. Your background is truly remarkable, and it's just such a wonderful story. Can you please tell our viewers how you decide, everything about you when you came to the country? Just give us a little bit about you.
I am originally from Venezuela. I was born in Caracas, and I studied social communications and theater, and I work all my life in both of those areas, specializing in marketing and production of musical festivals, theater festivals, as well as acting and writing. So all my life, my passion was mixing art and communications in all the areas that I work in. At one point in my life, after I had my first kid, I started working in the corporate world for BP in Venezuela. That's when I met my husband, and he's from Scotland. He moved to Venezuela, and after that, he got a contract. We both got laid out from BP at that moment, and we formed our first company that was Gregg and Associates, a consultancy company. And he got a contract here in BP in Houston that was supposed to be 3 weeks. Those 3 weeks turned into a new life. We've been here for 21 years. We have 2 more kids and we are Americans, and we have now other companies. We have been growing, and that's basically the story of how we came here, and we planted roots in this fabulous city.
What an amazing story. I love when business owners tell me about how they were laid off or how they lost their jobs and how they turned that into a successful business. I think that's so amazing. And that story is so wonderful. And we're glad to have you here in Houston for those 21 years. Thank you so much. So when you first decided to start your company, GV&A, did you work full time somewhere else, or were you just focused completely on being an entrepreneur? I like to ask that because a lot of people, they say they don't have the time or the money to focus their energies directly on their business. So how did you get everything going?
At that time, I was focused on my kids because as I told you, I had 2 kids since we moved here. And my youngest at that time was 9 or 10 years old. And I started having, all the time since I moved here, I was volunteering for tots, for the school system. And we lived in Katy, or we still live in Katy. So the Katy ISD, in the theater department, in the choir department, always in the arts, helping out. And my kids have that vein as well, the 3 of them. One is in New York, lighting designer, and is working actively in theater. The other 2 are here in Katy, and also theater geeks. So I've been, all the time I was very involved volunteering in that area. So I started getting, as the Venezuelan community started growing in our city, the the need of getting cultural involvement with the Venezuelans coming from our country got bigger and bigger. We founded with other Venezuelans that were longer here. We founded a nonprofit called Venezuelan American Association of Texas. So we started promoting cultural events with them. And then I started meeting more people. That was also a volunteer job. And somebody told me, well, but why don't you start doing events? Why don't you start, creating things for your own, do a company? And I met an artist that I admire very much, that he came here for a concert, and he said, I want you to be my producer. Come on, let's do a concert. This one was sold out and I need to do another one. So that's how it started. I did another concert for him in a golf club here in Katy, and it was sold out as well. And that was in 2016. And of course, that candle
That
really,
catapulted you.
yeah. And my kids were older, so I could have more time, and it grew from there.
That's so great. That is great. So now that you are an entrepreneur and you started out with the event and it grew and it grew and it is now what it is, what advice would you give to people who want to start their businesses but need that push or that motivation to step out like you did? Because some people, are afraid to step out. It sounds to me like you had your husband as a backup, and that was really probably a great thing. But what about people maybe who want to step out that maybe aren't married or don't have investors or what advice would you give them?
Well, I think that today it's very important. Education is the first thing. And today is very easy to find tools online. You have a YouTube, you have Instagram. Now you have a very interesting new media that is Clubhouse, where you can find incredible speakers, and that is free. You can have lots of free education. And then always investigate, go to networkings. Networkings are a very incredible way to nurture yourself and to make connections if you don't have them, and keep your appetite for learning always open. That is the main thing. I am 58 years old and I never stop learning. I call myself a lifelong learner. That is my motto.
You know what, as a person that's a part of an educational institution such as Houston Community College, I cannot agree with you more. But we're going to continue this conversation when we return from our break with Libia Gregg, who will tell us more about her successful company. Just remember, the Entrepreneur Initiatives Department has many resources and trainings to help entrepreneurs reach their goals. Visit our website at hccs.edu/small business for more information. We have a calendar of all of our upcoming events and other helpful information that is designed to help small business owners just like you. We'll be right back.
The faculty at HCC represents the best of the city. They're committed to getting our students to their goals. HCC, for everyone, anytime, anyway.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I love teaching at HCC.
I love helping students
with college credits,
with scholarships and financial aid,
training them for life-changing careers.
Come learn with us.
HCC, for everyone, anytime, anyway.
Welcome back, everyone, to Our Community, Our Money, the Entrepreneur in You. I would like to welcome back Libia to the show. Again, Libia, thank you so much for being here. So we ended with you telling us about you being a lifelong learner, and you advise all of our entrepreneurs out there to continue to learn, to network, to utilize all the free opportunities that are out there to get their businesses started. And, you know, we have all that right here in case all you want to get that going. But Libia, can you please tell us about some of the projects you've worked on with your event production company? We'd love to hear about some of the things you've done with the company.
Apart from having that passion for the arts, I am also I have a passion for giving. And a year later, I started a nonprofit organization called Philanthropist, that is a combination of the word philanthropist and artist. So I dedicated a lot of my time to organizing events that served mostly the Venezuelan and Hispanic community. And during 3 years, we stopped last year because of the global pandemic, but to educate and entertain with Latin American artists. So we did concerts in Hobby Center for the Performing Arts with a very well-known singer, Soledad Bravo. We used the Silca Hall, that is the smaller one. We did one with Nela Rojas, that it was an up-and-coming artist that last year, 2019, won Best New Artist, Latin Grammy for Best New Artist. So I also had the passion, like for, I pride myself on having like a good eye because I like to, you know, identify like new people that are high quality artists. And in 2019, we did a big whole week of events in the Match Houston, in the Match theaters. So we had a comedian, a stand-up comedian. We used all the facility. We had a concert with Nela. We had a jazz singer. We had in the exhibition, in the gallery, we had a plastic artist, a painter that came. We had events for kids that it was in collaboration with the Fine Arts Museum of Houston. We had a class with a painter for the kids. We had another collaboration with a mentor that she came and did some classes as well for people empowering women. So it was a series every single day for a full week, and it was called Houston Art Explosion. That was the first edition. We wanted to do another one last year. It was not possible, so we're going to plan to move it to 2022. This year we haven't planned to do anything big because we think that we're not still ready for that. The city, the public, it's not still ready for a big production. But we've done, you know, concerts, dinners, corporate events, but we're all the time promoting culture and quality concerts. We work in the Fitzgeralds. I don't know if you remember Fitzgeralds in the Heights. Also trying to introduce salsa and Latin.
I love salsa. I took lessons, so
So we try to introduce couple salsa night there before they close. And so it was fun, you know, to try to move a little bit of Latin in the Heights. and always, experimenting. Didn't work that much. The Fitzgerald was, going down a little bit. So, but the best thing, and that's my word for everybody, if you fall, don't get disheartened. Go and try something else.
I love the cultural aspect and artistry you're bringing into the community. I love it. So amazing. Now, we're going to get back on the pivoting of the global pandemic a little bit later. But I wanted to ask you, as the founder and the owner and the boss of this major company that you've put together, what's your role now? Do you just seek out the business portion of it? Do you get in there and actually work with the staff and put the event together? Do you have staff and partners? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
No, not yet, because unfortunately we haven't grown as much as I wish I would. When we do the events, I hire people for the events, but as contractors. Every time I have an event, I have my preferred business partners for catering, for production, for whatever. And the part of designing, we did it as a side. GV&A Productions did it as a side, as a support for the nonprofit. And last year we were going to start, growing, because we started networking in 2019, doing, the stronghold of networking that year. But that had to stop. So we are still waiting to grow. So I'm still working with partners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to have staff yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with contractors for the moment. If I need somebody, I hire that person for the contract, for the period of the project, and that is the moment. It sounds like a big company, but I'm still not a big company.
Well, you're growing. And speaking of that, how can prospective clients reach your business so they can do business with you? So if I had an event I wanted to do, how do they reach you? And can you shout out your website and your social media so that people can know where they can find GV&A Productions?
Well, we are present in all the major social media, and we have our own website that it's gvaproductions.com. We have our Instagram, gva.productions. We are present in Facebook. We have our Linktree. We are in LinkedIn. We are in lots of places where you can find us. But we have our website, and there's all the information there.
We're going to continue talking with you after the break, but I want to tell all our viewers out there, please remember that the Entrepreneurial Initiatives Department has so many departments under its area that we reach students and entrepreneurs. We have resources available for small businesses, and you can find all you need to know about everything that we have to offer by going to our website, www.hccs.edu/smallbusiness. We will be right back.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
The faculty at HCC represents the best of the city. They're committed to getting our students to their goals.
a 4-year degree.
Workforce training.
A better life.
HCC, for everyone, anytime, anyway.
Welcome back, everyone. In this segment, we will continue our conversation with Libia about her entrepreneurial career and how she made it so successful when so many other businesses failed. You were talking all about your different social media aspects and how people can reach you. And I really appreciate that because people need to know where they can come to get event design and help because the world is opening back up. But my question is, how do you customize your services to meet individual client needs?
Well, the main thing is to listen to your customer. Somebody told me once that it's like an old lady's saying, but God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen more and talk less. See what your client have to tell. Listen carefully. What are his needs? What is what he wants to obtain for the money he's going to pay for? What is the amount of money he has to invest? The money that your client has is a money that it took him effort to obtain. And you have to respect that. You have to be careful with that money. Imagine that it's you that are investing $1,000, $5,000, whatever, in a piece of communication, that it could be an event, could be a piece of branding, could be whatever you decide to do with us. And you say, well, Libia, we have this that we want, this product, this service that we want to promote with you. And I have a budget of $1,000. And this is what I want to obtain after that. I want to get my customers to reach out to us in this way, blah, blah, blah. When you listen to what they want, you carefully, take notes and be respectful of what they want and how you're going to invest their money in the best way and make them use your time wisely, use their time and their money wisely. So that is the first thing that I think I offer to my clients. The second thing is that all this background that I bring, besides the 30 years experience or whatever, is that besides being bilingual or more than bilingual, because I speak other languages as well, is that I've traveled a lot, that I keep studying, that I am multicultural because I worked in many places and I've been in many countries. And in the States, I've been almost everywhere. So I pride myself in trying to get to know people and cultures, and I am sensitive to that. And I think that it's a good approach that you have, or that I have, to humanity and to people, and the way that you massage your message. And that is something that it's really valuable for me, and that I think that it could be very valuable for my clients as well.
Yes, I love it. You say the best key is to listen to your clients, and it sounds like you're saying take care of their the money that they're spending with your company. You make sure that they're getting their money's worth, and that's so much appreciated out there. So now we're going to talk about what you did during the global pandemic, because apparently you pivoted, and you, like you said, when you fall, don't stay down, get back up. And it sounds like your company couldn't do events due to the global pandemic, so you changed course. And can you explain a little bit about how your company, came together to decide on which way to go, first of all? And when you decided which way to go, how did you go about doing that during the pandemic?
When I talk about networking, that's something that that was really important for me during the pandemic. I belong to a networking group that it's called Professional Business Partnership, that it's a group of Spanish-speaking professionals. At the beginning of the year, everybody was in one of our closed meetings of my chapter. They said, well, let's see, who has problems, or how do you see this pandemic affecting you? And that was like at April or May. How has it affected you? And well, we had different people. The IT person, the IT person said, no, it has increased my business because everybody was going on Zoom.
Online.
Yeah. And he said, and I put my hand up and I said, I'm gone. I have nothing. O sea, I am about to close my business. And that became a brainstorming in the whole group. And I say, okay, let's see, what do you do? What are your strengths? What do you think where you can go? And we started talking about what I did during my event organization and what could I offer during the pandemic that was different to what other companies were offering. So that help and that support brought me to specialize in dynamic presentations. So I studied how to do Prezi and other things like landing pages that were very simple with Spark, Adobe Spark. I use Adobe Suite for other things. I started doing these dynamic presentations because people had to do different things to adapt to the Zoom presentations. And PowerPoint is really easy, nice, and very, common. But Prezi gets you an edge because you can introduce much more and make it very dynamic and very engaging with your audience. So I started doing that and I started getting clients. My first client obviously was one of my own colleagues in my group. And then we started doing that and I started studying other things and I started, polishing my Adobe skills, and I started going and doing a diploma in graphic design. So it was a ball rolling and rolling, and I started getting business with the graphic design, and that's how the business turned into something else. And then at the end of the year, I also decided to say, okay, well, let's open a new side of the business and offer the promotional products as well. So this year I got the affiliation with the Advertising Institute, and I have 3,000 plus wholesalers that I can reach, and I can offer my clients also, besides the design, the best prices and everything, and every single promotional products.
That's an amazing story. I love the pivot. And I want to thank you so much for being my guest today, Libia. And I just look forward to just getting to know you even better in your business. And as always, I would like to share a motivational tip out there for our entrepreneurs. You will be defined not just by what you achieve, but by how you survive. And that was from Sheryl Sandberg. Until next time, thanks for watching Our Community, Our Money, The Entrepreneur in You. See you next time.